I think it was pretty clear that I would always be making music.
And
So,
what
you
are
know,
winters like? What is it like at this moment there?
it's kind of hard because there's very little light, so it gets dark at 3 or 4ish already. I mean now it's turned, but it's pretty rough in the winter. I find it's very heavy. A lot of people get depressed in the winter, and then in the summer it's light all day. The sun doesn't go down, so that's really nice. But winters are hard. I try to go to California in the winters.
You need the sun the entire year round.
Well, I think every living organism needs light.
But this depression, does that overcome you as well? I mean,
yeah, a little bit. It gets me a little bit down. The whole. I think it's, but I can just think of the sort of scientific reason to be lack of light.
it's just a biological thing.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like everything that is alive is alive because of light. It makes sense.
I was wondering, what is your status on the Faroe Islands? I mean, how are you perceived? Are you like a celebrity, an island celebrity, or?
Yeah, I mean I am, but I think that so is the guy who owns the store in the corner because everybody knows him. It's like that. Everybody knows each other. But I don't think that people really know. I mean, people read about me in the papers a lot. They see, oh, now Teitur is in so-and-so or whatever, or he did this and that. And I don't really know those people. But I think in general, people just know everybody, It's, the politicians or the goalkeeper in your football team or whatever, everybody knows each other. But I'm very famous there, obviously. But yeah, I've always been since I was been quite young, so I don't really think about it.
Since what age? Since you were quite young?
Yeah, I mean, since I've been very young. I don't know, I don't really think so much about it. It's always been like that.
What has becoming a musician always been what you wanted to become? Or were you like every kid dreaming of a professional football career or
Well,
something else?
I did play football. I just played a lot of sports. I was like into everything. I played football and handball and badminton and tennis and swimming and the whole thing. But I was always making music, and I think it sort of tipped over by the age of 15 or so. I just found myself playing more music, and I guess a lot of my friends were better at the sports, I couldn't really follow, I guess. No, but I think it was pretty clear that I would always be making music because I just always made music, always wrote music.
Did it take you long to get used to the idea that you were a musician by profession, that you had to make a living out of it?
I think that's sort of a decision that I took, I mean, it's also something that just happens, but I think you have to choose it at some point. It's kind of hard, but I chose to just invest in my own career in so much like becoming a really good writer, and because I know that's sort of what drives it, and I'm still thinking about that. You just have to get better and better, or else there's no. You have to invest.
When was that decision made?
I think many years ago when I was, I don't know, in my very early 20s. I think what I did is I took like 5 years to say, okay, I'm only going to be doing this to get my career started. And then I turned a lot of things down. Like I realized, okay, if I want to do that, then I have to say no to, I mean, I only worked like 2 days a week to pay the rent. And then the rest of the time I wrote because I knew if I would spend my time making cappuccinos, I would know cappuccinos and not songwriting. You know what I mean? It's like, it's kind of a logical thing that the things you spend your time on is what you can improve in and get to know. And I'm still getting to know it, and that's still how I go by. I think it's all about how you divide your time. What you do.
How did the people around you react to the fact that you were giving yourself this amount of time to pursue that career? Were you supported, or were there people who said, "Come on, do something
Yeah.
else?
No, I don't think anyone bothered me in that way. You know, like why should they? I've always done really well for myself. You know, I've always been successful or whatever. You know, I always had something interesting happening. But I also got lucky. I mean, I had at the time when I was just writing, I got like a sponsor actually. A guy who heard me on the radio talking about what I did. I was, you know, really young and saying, yeah, I just want to write and how I spend my time and blah blah. And then he called me and said, look, because one of the things I also was in my plan that I would always go away once a month. I wanted to go to either London or New York to write with, or LA, whatever, write with other writers. And that was like part of my whole plan. And then this guy heard me on the radio talking about it, and he called me and said, look, those flights you were talking about, I'll pay him. You know, and then he actually bought me a lot of flight tickets to go to like New York and London and so on, to write with other writers. So that kind of thing has also happened, but I think it is because of my determination to do so. You know, I don't think it would happen if I weren't writing songs. You know, if I hadn't decided
What did this
to do
person want in return, or was he just a
so. He just thought it was cool. You know.
mecenas, or how do you call it?
Yeah. He was a shipbroker, and he was just cool, I guess. Yeah.
It's the best thing to happen to a young musician.
Yeah, it was kind of amazing. So
Just-
I don't know. I've always sort of had my own way. You know, I'm really spoiled. I think I just always done what I wanted in some ways. But I'm also very industrious. You know, I work a lot. I'm not lazy. I do what I do.